Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be setting up our crochet journals for June, which is crazy. I can't believe that we're already halfway through the year. That is insane. I am excited for this month. I have a lot of things planned and I can't wait to get everything done. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's get started. As usual, here are some things you'll need. You'll need your crochet journal, some markers, pencil, some tape, a pen, and scissors. You may not use all of this, but these are just some basics that are great to have when you're setting up your crochet journal. And if you're curious, I will have everything linked below in my Amazon storefront. I thought it would be fun this month to do a little bit of a different theme. I thought it would be fun to do a mountain or national park theme. Here's the inspiration I have for the cover page. It's super cute. It looks complicated, but I think we can do it with just a little bit of work. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alrighty, and just if y'all don't want to do the mountain theme that I'm doing this month, don't forget to check out my Pinterest board that I will have linked below with so many different ideas for what you can do. Let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, we have our clean, fresh page here, and we're going to go ahead and grab my pencil and get started. Oh my goodness, this is exciting. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and grab something shaped. I'm going to use this little crochet kit, and I'm just going to use it to basically map out a light oval. So you actually don't have to do this part. You could just eyeball it, but I would prefer to do this just so I know that I am getting it around the right size of what I want to make. So there is my approximation right there. And now that we have that, you're going to make sure that you have some room at the bottom of the page and some room at the top of the page. And we're just going to go ahead and get started by going down closest to the bottom of your oval, and you're just going to draw 2 lines going in just like that. And then you're going to use something straight. I'm going to use this again to draw those lines coming in at a point, just like that. Beautiful. And now that we have those 2 overlapping lines, we're going to go up to the top here. And we're just going, now that we have those 2 overlapping lines, we're going to go ahead and map things out a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and erase some of these extra lines that I don't need until we just have this badge shaped shape. And there's that. So now I'm going to map out a little bit of where I want to put my colors. So in the inspiration picture, they have 6 different colors, so we're going to go ahead and draw that. So first we're going to come here at the bottom and draw a line with a little dip and another dip that goes the opposite way, just like that. And then we're going to come up here about 1/2 inch above your first line and go down into a dip, and then you're going to go up into a hump and back down right to the edge where you have your first shape. And you have your dip, and then you're going to just go down slightly and then go right back up, curve it up at the top, and then end it in the side, just like that. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and go up here close to the top, about 1 inch down from the top, and you're going to draw a line that goes steeply down and then curves right back up. And then you're going to end your line slanted slightly into the top of that hump right there. Now this next one's going to be super easy. You're just going to go ahead and go right here, right below where the hump is, and you're going to slant carefully and then curve it down and end in the side, just like that. Now this last one right here is going to determine the shape of your whole thing, so you're going to want to make sure to do this right. It doesn't have to be perfect, and y'all can always change up the shapes as you want. So you're going to go ahead and start in the corner up here. I'm going to do it just a little bit above the peak that we did right here. And I'm going to go ahead and come out, curve up, and draw a peak that is actually going above my line, if you can see that. And then you're going to bring it down and then you're going to bring it right back up, and then bring it sharply down right there, so you end right there. Now I'm going to go ahead, just to make things a little bit clearer for y'all to see, I'm going to erase the top line of my shape, leaving me with that curvy line right at the top, and there is our base shape for everything. I love it. So next you're going to go ahead and map out the trees. So we're going to go ahead and start with the little one. Start right here about an inch out from the corner here at the bottom, and then you're going to just draw a thick line. Make sure to go lightly so when you erase this later it won't show as bad. And I'm just going to bring it up until it's very close to the second line that we drew here, until it's right above that second line, just like that. And then you're going to go ahead and then just draw these branches out, just so you know where you're going to have the branches. This will help you later when you're drawing things in. Now we're going to go to the other side and do kind of the same thing. You're going to go ahead and take your pencil, go right here into the second line and start right here, and you're going to want to go all the way up to the top, past the top right here, right next to that really high peak that you did. And you're going to make sure that you thicken that just a little bit, and then you're going to go ahead and draw the limbs, fill it out just a bit. There is your second tree mapped. I'm only going to do 2 trees, but y'all can do more if you want to. Okay, next we're going to come up here at the top, and you're going to draw a circle. So at this point, I'm actually going to take a washi tape right here, and I'm going to center it right there, so I have that nice shape. And I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to go inside of the washi tape and trace the inside portion. Y'all can just freehand the circle, do whatever you want. I just wanted to have a little bit more control over the shape, and then you can lift that off and you have the sun shape. I'm going to go ahead and turn down my light here so y'all can see it better. Well, I don't know if you can. Okay, next you're going to go ahead and draw in your cloud. So you're going to come up right above this top peak right here, and you're going to draw out this little shape just like that. So you have the first, let me see if you can even see it. Yeah, you have that first curve, another curve, another curve, and another curve. I'm actually going to redo that because that's not exactly what I'm going for. Okay, so first I'm going to go ahead and draw the line, and it's going to come right above this top peak right here, and it's going to come out just like that. And then you're going to have this bloop, and then this bigger bloop with a couple little bloops. So there is my cloud. Y'all can do whatever you want to. I'm actually going to come in here where I have the bottom, and I'm just going to make it a little bit more of a wavy line. That makes it a lot better in my opinion. Okay, now we have everything mapped out. We're going to go ahead and go in with color. I'm so excited. But before you do this, I'm actually going to try a new technique that I saw the other day where they lightly erased everything to where there was just this tiny little light line. So y'all can try this if you want to, but I'm just going to lightly erase the line to where I can see the faint outline of everything. And then when I add the marker on top, it won't show as bad. So I'm just going to lightly erase all of my lines, making sure that I can still see them, but they're not as obvious. This will especially help you with the trees because you want to have those downward strokes showing to where you can make the leaves easier. Alrighty, so now that I have all that, it looks kind of crazy. Okay, brushed all of that off, and I don't know if y'all can even see that. It is very faint, but you can still see the outline of everything in this area. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick out my colors, and I'm going to go with a similar color scheme that they went with. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my markers and pick out my colors. And when you pick out your colors, you're going to want to pick a darker color and a lighter color. You're going to be using mainly the lighter color, but the darker color is what we're going to use to make some of the details in your picture. Okay, so here are all of my colors picked out, and I'm super excited to get started with this, so let's jump into it. Okay, so starting with the bottom, you're going to take your lighter teal, which is actually still pretty dark, and you're going to go ahead and start. I am slightly nervous, but excited. So you're just going to follow the line that you have made for yourself and go in with your first color. And you can pick whichever color you want to do this with. I am choosing the same colors that they are, and then I'm just going to color it in real quick. Okay, so now I have that colored in. I'm going to go ahead in with my darker color, and I'm just going to do little lines going up, kind of wavy, not very wavy though. Just going to want to do some little lines just like that. I think that looks awesome. Okay, so there's my first color down. Now we're going to go ahead and go in with my second color, which is this peachy color. Okay, bear with me, y'all. I just looked back at the picture and realized that I did this wrong. So where you have that second line, you're actually going to want to go ahead and do the swoop and then even it out down here, because there's supposed to be that one right there too. So I am sorry for the misunderstanding there. I really hope y'all can go back and fix that right now. Yeah, can't believe I did that. Anyway, I'm going to go in with my second color, following the lines, and color that in. Okay, now I have that colored in. I'm going to go ahead and go in with my darker color and just draw in some lines. Okay, and now I have the second one done, and I am sorry again for the confusion. I will try to edit in the video where I did this wrong and tried to tell y'all to come to this section and figure out how to do it right. Okay, going on to the next section. This one is smaller than I was anticipating it. Okay, I'm just going to do the yellow, bring it down. I think one of the reasons why I was so confused earlier was the shades of yellow in the original drawing are very similar right there. This one is just a tad darker, and I think I actually found the markers that go with it very well. So I'm just going to color that in. I've already got some striping going over there where I've overlapped, but I'm going to go ahead and still go through there and draw the secondary lines just like that. Okay, next color, going in with this brownish color. Well, it is brown. Following the lines again, this is very important. You're going to want to follow your lines that you've traced in the beginning very closely, or you can mess up easily like I almost did. So you're just going to fill in that section. Beautiful. And then you're going to go ahead and take your darker color again and draw your little lines going down there. Kind of like waves. It's so pretty. This is so ingenious. Okay, next one we're doing, this one is our first pinkish color. This one's actually very neutral, but we're going in with some pink right after this, so it'll be super cute. That one was the easiest one to fill in. Okay, and then you're going to go in with your pink and draw your little lines going down. And like I said earlier, y'all can pick whatever color you want. These are just the colors that I am going with. I feel like I've repeated that a lot, so I might edit that out. Okay, last one, y'all. This is so exciting. So this top one, I'm actually kind of nervous about because I am going off the color that they are using. I am going to be doing gray. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about it. I hope it turns out looking okay. So, and it's the biggest chunk too, so if it doesn't look good, I'm going to be kind of sad. Although I don't suppose I'll know if it looks good until right at the end when we have everything done. So, okay. And now, for those lines, I'm going to use that pink that I used just a second ago again, just because it will show up differently on the gray background. And we're just going to do the swooping lines, just like that. And now we have everything penciled in. Looks great. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw in the sun here, and you're also going to want to be careful that you do not draw the cloud part of this. Okay, I'm just grabbing my yellow, First, I'm going to outline the cloud just so I don't go over that. Outlining the sun shape and the mountain. And there we have that. And now I'm going to also need my orange. Let me see if I can find it in here somewhere. I have a lot of colors out on my desk right now. I'm going to use the fine tip on this one, and you're just going to go in a spiral pattern just like that. I love it. And now for the cloud, I'm actually going to be doing a tiny bit of shading with my gray. So I'm going to gently shade it in on this side and then outline it with the gray, just so you can see it a little bit better, just like that. Okay, now it is time for the pine trees, and before I go in for the pine trees, I'm going to make sure that I have all of my pencil lines completely erased. Now, you're going to want to be careful on the marker parts. I'm actually not going to erase any of the stuff that I've already covered with marker, just because it sometimes rips, and I'm going to be covering most of that with the trees. Okay, so now for the trees, I'm actually going to be using, you can't tell on camera, it is black. No, it's green. It's green. Is it? You cannot tell on camera, but this is actually super dark green. I was originally going to use black, but I might as well use this green, and it looks kind of cool. So now you're going to go ahead and using your pencil lines that I can honestly barely see, but you're going to go ahead and do your one line down right there, and then you're going to start at the top and work your way down. So you're going to start with this little cone shape, leaving little ruffly bits, and then you're going to go right underneath it with some more ruffly bits, and then you're going to draw out this and have little ruffly bits again. You're going to want to make it look a little bit sparse. You don't want a full Christmas tree effect, but I do want it to be a pine tree-esque. So you're just going to do little ruffly bits, outward strokes on your pencil or marker or crayon, whatever you're using. And just keep that going until you've reached about this point right here. And that's how far I'm going to draw down my first one, and then I'm just going to make the line a little bit thicker, just like that, making sure I don't go over the edge right here. And there's my first pine tree, and now we're going to do this one, which will tie everything together. So you're going to, again, go up at the top and draw your line all the way down. Beautiful. And then you're going to start with your roughly top little cone shape. Bring it out, and on this one you're not going to build it out as much as you did on this one. You're going to want to go gradually on this side, so you're going to barely make the last leaf or limb bigger than the last one, because you don't want it hanging over too much, but at the end we do want it hanging over a tiny bit on the outsides. So you're just going to keep building out your tree limbs, making sure it doesn't look perfect. You don't want rigid trees, although you do want. Now I'm going to build it out a little bit more. As you can see, I've stayed in a pretty much cone shape. I'm kind of extending the top ones because it's too straight. So you're going to build it out a little bit more. You want to go over the edge just slightly. And on the next one, you're going to want to go over even further. And then the last one, you're going to build out even further. Oh, yes. There is your second tree. And then you're going to go ahead and go and make the middle trunk part thicker, even thicker than that. Draw it out, and perfect. I love how that turned out. Wow. I actually wasn't expecting it to look like that, but it did. It looks really good. Now we're going to do the June at the bottom, and this is going to be a little bit more of a blocky letter than we usually do. So I'm going to go ahead and draw 2 downward lines, just like that, just so I know where I'm going to map everything out. And then we're going to start with the J over here. And we're going to go ahead and try to get you closer to the camera. And you're going to draw a line down, go over a little bit, down, up, and then sharp corner, bring it all the way back up, build it out slightly, and connect. and there is your J. And you're going to go all the way over here and do your E. So I'm going to go ahead and start here with a line, go up, go over, extend it slightly more than you think, bring it down, bring it in, bring it all the way down to the same length as your J, bring it over and down again, and all the way over here, bring it up, make a little line, bring it down, over, then up, over, up, over, up, over, down, and it's connected. Just like that you have, just like that you have your E. Now we're going to go ahead and build it out. So you're going to do your U. Okay, so you're going to go over from the J, and you're going to draw a little line down, and then you're going to bring it over slightly, and then you're going to draw a big curve. So big smile, just like that. I made a little bit too squared off right there. You're going to bring it over again, up, over, down, over, and then you're going to curve your line, and again, bring it up, out, up, and connect it. And I'm going to even out my curve right there. It's a little bit too blocky. Then we're going to do the in this little spot right here. So you're going to go over from your U, draw down, go slightly in, and then draw all the way down, stop, go out, down, over, up, in, up, down. Oh, I did that wrong. Okay, don't be afraid to erase, guys. Okay, bring it over and up and over, and let me see if I can do this right this time. Sharp down, just like that. Bring it over and up, over, down, and connects right there, and you bring it all the way up to right there. Okay, and I'm gonna draw out this leg because it is looking tiny, itsy bitsy. And you can even out any curved lines you made where it's not supposed to be curved. You can make any lines bigger, legs of the shapes thicker, and there is your June all mapped out. Now I'm going to go ahead and lightly erase everything and go in with my marker. Alright, and there is our light shape. And now just to tie it in a little bit, I'm going to take the same marker, it's this dark green, and use the fine tip of it to outline my shapes. This is something that they did not do in the picture, but I think would look super cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and outline. I'm actually going to stop because that is dried out on that side. So I'm going to go ahead and take my darker teal and use the fine tip on that end and outline it that way. I'm going to go down, bring it up, and just outline all of your lettering using your light pencil guide. I'm convinced that one of these months I'm going to forget what month it is and accidentally do the month before or the month after it, or just a random month. It'll be the month that I decide not to use a picture guide. Just watch. Actually, I really hope that doesn't happen, but you never know. Alrighty, so I have everything connected. I actually love how this is looking. This is awesome. I keep saying this, but I think this month is my favorite. So I'm going to use my brush pen tip on, let's do the lighter teal, the one that we used on this bottom portion, and just fill it in. Okay, now we have that marked in. Now I'm going to take a lightish yellow, and we're going to do some outlining. So we're going to go down and over on the E. Okay. And we're going to go over like that, and then down and over. So you're making it look a little bit 3D, and you're just going to continue that all the way around the E, just like that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's how I did the first one, and now we're going to do the next one, hopefully. I am scared to death that I'm going to mess this up, but we will see. And you know what? I think I realized why the end section looked so weird, but it is okay. I now know. Bring it over and down. I'm going to be having a video come out right after this, hopefully, of how much of a to-do list can I get done in one day, and this is one of the things that's on my to-do list. So I am trying to get it done rather quickly, although it is turning into not so quickly a job, which is fine. I'm loving how it's turning out, and just like that, that part is done. And they have little white specks on the June. I don't like that as much, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And there is our cover page. Y'all, it looks so good. Oh my goodness. I think this might be my favorite one yet. Okay, now I'm excited for the next page because I'm going to be trying something that I've never done before in any of my videos so far. You're going to go onto your next page, and I'm going to pull up my reference photo on Pinterest. And we're going to be doing something like this. There we go. But instead of doing it this week, we're going to be doing this month. So first, I've got to figure out a way to cover this up. So we're going to go ahead and find some cute paper. I think I'm going to use graph paper. So let me go grab some real quick. Okay, so I just grabbed some graph paper from a graphing book. And I'm going to go ahead and cut off the top edge right here. And graph paper is super easy to cut because you can follow the lines. And just like that, we have it cut. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold this exactly in half and fold it right down the middle. Nice sharp line. And then what you're going to want to do is grab a glue stick. And you're going to go ahead and start. So you're going to want to put the crease in the middle of the book. Rub some glue on either side of where I want it to be. I'm going to stick the page right there again and rub the paper on it to glue it down. Close the book, open it back up, and there we have that glued in. And I'm going to go ahead and keep gluing completely down on both sides of your paper or page. Beautiful. And I'm just going to go around the edges, make sure I have the edges glued down, and now I have this beautiful graph paper inlay in my book. So first things we're going to do is I'm going to start up in this corner and write out in calligraphy this month. So you're going to go ahead and use pencil first and write this month. And this actually isn't calligraphy. Let me show you how I'm going to do this. So I'm actually going to be using Sharpie on a lot of this. I'm going to have to be very careful because this will show through on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and use Sharpie and write in this month. And then you're going to go ahead and make some of the lines thicker, some of them thinner. Just make it look super duper cute. And it did bleed through a tiny bit on this side, but not enough to make me throw down my Sharpie with sadness. Okay, and I've already tested it. If you do the Sharpie on the graph paper in this, it won't bleed through. So I'll be able to use the Sharpie on a lot of other things right here. Next, you're going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my pins, and let's grab a brown one. Use these two brown ones and then this teal one. And I'm going to draw in a couple leaves. So just little oval shapes like we've done before. And I'm just going to draw in a few, just like that. And then I'm going to do some little brown flowers, just like that. And I'm going to use my darker brown and do some smaller flowers. I'm really liking the neutrals that this month is giving. Okay, so now we have that done up in that corner. Now we're going to go ahead and map out everything else. And for this part, you're going to need your pencil and your pen for a lot of it. And you're also going to need a lot of little shapes. So I'm going to use these little Post-it note type things for shapes, and also a Polaroid. So we're going to go ahead and start right up here. I'm going to trace this shape. I'm overlapping with the graph paper just slightly, and trace that in, and then as soon as I have a moment, I'm going to write in the month. So a little tiny calendar up in this corner. I think that'll be super cute. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and grab our Polaroid, trace it right here, Go over that with pen, and with all of this, you're going to want to slightly round your corners. So if you see right there, I'm slightly rounding all of the corners to make it look a little bit cutesy. Cutesier, is that a word? Okay, keep drawing it in just like that. Okay, and then right here, we are also going to draw a little thing, but this one I want to be more of a rectangle, but I don't want it to be as big as two of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab my pencil, and I'm going to trace. This is what the graph paper is good for. I'm going to trace a line, come down as far as I want the line to go, trace it again, and then connect the two. Bring it over as far as you want it to, and then connect all of those lines. And then I'm going to go ahead and go over it with pen again. So use the graph paper to your advantage and make things as big or as little as you want them to be. I have that laid out, and right here I'm going to do a super long one, and this one I'm actually going to try to freehand it all the way down, curved, and just like that you have that all mapped out. And then on this side we're going to leave this kind of corner blank because I'm going to write a quote out really cute, but I'm going to draw 3 of these little squares right here. Let's do that real quick. I'm taking the easy way and tracing it slightly, and then I'm just going to connect the corners with rounded marks. Wow, that was so easy. So I'm just going to do 2 more. And if you're wondering where I got these Post-it notes that look like stamps from, I got them from Five Below. They were only $1, and it was like a 6-pack of them. They're super cute. Anyway, connect all of the lines just like that. And now I have 3 of those. And then right here, I'm going to write June out, kind of in the same type script we did right here, but I'm going to freehand it. So I'm going to just down, up, over. This is dangerous, y'all, me freehanding something that I just spent like 30 minutes trying to do very carefully on the first page. I can always cover it up on this page if I don't like it though. And then we're going to do the N, which was super complicated. Aha! Fixing my mistakes from last time. So what I did last time was on the last page, I did another one of those out things when you're supposed to just bring it all the way down. And I did that on this side. So I'm so proud of myself for doing that. And then we're going to bring it up. Dent. Oh, it's perfect. Okay, yes. Yes. Can I pull it off? Can I seriously pull it off first try? Oh my goodness, I did it first try, y'all. That is awesome. Whoa. Okay. Yes. I'm proud of myself for that. Okay, now we're going to do one more of these over here. So I'm going to go ahead and use this as a stencil to draw a line. Extend the line over to there. Bring it down here. Extend. And then connect. Oh my goodness, it's perfect. Okay, I am liking this. So now that I have this, I am actually going to skip to the next page and show y'all what I'm going to do on that page. And then at the end of the video, I'll come back and show y'all how I finished this up. But that is basically all of that part. I'm going to fill the June in like I did on the front page, and I'll show that to y'all in a minute. The next page is pretty simple. It's our standard everything I crocheted page. So we're just going to write out everything I crocheted in June 2025. And then we're going to do our little Polaroid right here and write out, keep that there so I know where to write it. There we go. I love it. Okay, so there's that page all done. I know it's very, very simple. This is my big page this month. This is something completely new. I'm going to be doing different ideas on this page. This is just our regular page, and then I'm going to check because I was thinking of doing one more super cool page, which was going to be a project tracker, but I actually don't think I'm going to do that this month. I am going to instead, on this page right here, do a super cute outline. So we're going to grab something straight, we'll use this Polaroid, and we're going to make this page into a frame type thing, and then come down to the bottom and do the same line across the bottom right here. Line, line, line. Turn so it's easier for me to work. Line, line. And then I'm just gonna connect it with the rounded corners, which are becoming my specialty. Beautiful. And then on this page, it's going to be super cute. I'm going to go through this outline with this, or let's do this brown. Where's my brown? There it is. I'm going to go all the way around the frame with this super cute brown color just to tie it in. And then I will show y'all what I'm going to be doing with this giant frame that I put in the middle of my book. Just a second. Okay, so now I have that outline all filled in, and let me show you what I'm going to be doing with this. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my pin, if I can find it anywhere. Where did I put it? Found it. It was on the ground. And on this, I'm going to write at the bottom, project ideas in a fun script. And on this page during this month, whenever I have an idea, I'm either going to write it down or I am going to sketch it out on this page. And at the end of the month, it'll be super cool to see what project ideas I have, what ideas I have in general, and things like that. It'll be super cute to see at the end of the month, and I am excited about it. So after I went over the project ideas right here with another layer of ink, I'm going to go ahead and grab pink, or let's see, what other colors do we have? Let's do yellow. And I'm just going to outline it with the yellow, just like that. Super cute, super simple, and it'll be so cool to see it at the end. Alrighty everybody, we are done. So it's time for our final flip through of June 2025. So here's our cover page. I love how it turned out. The only thing I would change next time is trying to find some different colors. I really like them, but these three patches right here are really similar. So I would want to get some more contrasting colors. Let me know what y'all think below on that. And also, I really love how this June turned out, but I would want to fix the end. That is slightly annoying, but that's okay. Okay, so now for the next page, I have everything filled out completely on here now. Tried something different this month. Instead of our regular, either this type of goals and plans page or this type of goals and plans page, I ended up trying this layout, and I really like how it turned out. It's super cute, and it gives me more room to plan things out. So over here I have patterns, have a little calendar, a big to-do list, and an orders list. Over here I have Etsy, Instagram, and YouTube. Those are my goals. And then over here I have markets. And then I have a little inspirational quote right there. The June again, and that's how the end is supposed to look. And that is my beautiful page right there. I actually love how that one turned out. And I am going to try to do more pages like that in the future. Then we're flipping over, and I have everything I crocheted in June, which will be filled out by the end of the month. And then over here, also going to be filled out by the end of the month, is my project idea page. Okay y'all, so that is it for this video. I really hope you liked it. I tried to go a little bit more in depth than I did last month. I know last month was kind of rushed and hurried. That was just because I was working really hard on finishing up for the Strawberry Festival, which I still have not done that video yet, but I will try to do the video soon where I go over what sold, what didn't sell, and my overall experience. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, if you do decide to follow any of the tutorials I made in this video, I would love to see your creations. You can email them to me. My email is in the description box, or you can tag me in your post on Instagram at Cherry Rose Crochet, and I would love to see them all. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see y'all next month for our next crochet journal installation. Bye!